Hi, Kerry. How are you today?
Hi, Ken. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So obviously, we would have been coming off the NAB show last week, which would have brought everybody together from around the world. I know you're over in the UK. I'm here in New York. So we're going to do this virtually, leaving Vegas out of the equation. So Iron Mountain obviously plays a big role in the sports community as far as archives, because that's what sports is a lot, especially now. But I know that you're with the entertainment services division. So can you tell us a little bit about that division and what your day-to-day is?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And thank you for having me here today. Um, so, Iron Mountain, at the core of its business, is around preservation of information and of assets. Entertainment services is primarily preserving heritage of content, preserving the legacy for sporting organizations, for media broadcasters, studios, um, essentially ensuring that assets are accessible but also securely preserved to maintain the heritage of the organization.
Gotcha.
So there's a few different ways that we actually do that and a few different services that we offer. Primarily within the entertainment services division, it's around storage, but also access to that media. And then looking at other services that we can provide to make that content accessible, but also reuse it, and also being able to interrogate it to put the media that we have to work for the customer so that they are more informed of their media.
Gotcha. So obviously right now we're in a big moment when archive content is important, more important than ever. What do you see as the opportunities here and the challenges for people trying to get their content out there? Obviously archiving some of the content that's going on now, but also accessing their content and making it visible and pulling it forward.
So there's a really great use case of this with one of our existing customers in the US with the Giants. So we embarked on a project with them to not only unlock the value of that content, but really truly make it accessible for them. And what that meant was going back through the 60 years of archive media that they'd preserved on site in stadiums, off site in different storage locations. But it's not just about being able to know where that media is. They had no way of playing it back. They had no way of distributing it. And they had no way of really reusing it. So what we did was embarked on a preservation project with them. It's not just around being able to retrieve the video files, but it's about really understanding where that asset came from, why it was created, all of the important data that comes from things like the tape box. There's information in the sleeve inside the box. There might be drawings on the box itself. So we go to the lengths of scanning the box images to then make that associated media for the video asset itself.
Because obviously there are other options out there in the archive world. So what do you see some of the strengths?
So we are experts in what we do. It's not just being able to provide information around a refinement and digitization project, but it's also about being able to restore those physical assets, to be able to ensure that we can create new files out of the physical assets that exist already, but also provide services to store those assets securely, to be able to provide services around utilizing the media in a different way. So for example, one of the services that is new for us is content localization as a service. And this can be utilized in a few different ways. One way would be to have reporters who are out there creating content have it immediately subtitled and transcribed, but we can also translate those subtitles and transcriptions. Another way that that could be utilized is by sports producers who have existing content that needs to be taken to international markets. So it's just providing accessibility around the content itself.
Gotcha. That's great.
So we're sort of a one-stop shop in that sense, providing the expertise to do that, to ensure that it's handled in the correct way, in the Iron Mountain way, but also to provide other services that take the content to the next level.
Right, right. Which clearly, I mean, the whole point of an archive is to obviously keep it around for posterity, for history, but also to obviously hopefully be able to utilize it at some point. And obviously the digital world is opening up lots of new ways for people to put that content to use. So
yeah, exactly. And it's not just around the assets itself. This is heritage, this is preservation. It's one thing to preserve your life's work or the sporting legacy, but to hand that over to another organization, it has to be someone that you trust, and it has to be someone, a business that really maintains the ethos of what you've created and truly understands that.
Sure, sure. Well, I know you're new to the company, but you are at a good one. I mean, they are well trusted amongst all of our members. I'm well aware of that. So thanks for your time today, and obviously stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you a little bit later this year somewhere.
Thanks, Ken. It was great to see you today.